Coming up on District Wire News, the American University newspaper. Everyone's talking about the controversy surrounding one student's column. Find out about an upcoming panel to discuss the issue.
And the iPad has finally been released. People are excited about the new product, but some Mac users aren't sure if it's worth it. This is District Wire News.
Good evening, I'm Lucy Strange.
And I'm Savannah Graybill.
Students are speaking out about the Eagles' decision to publish an offensive opinion. There will be a panel discussion tonight at AU's Mary Graydon Center. Michael Ono has the story.
The Eagle, American University's student-run paper, is coming under fire for publishing opinions on date rape.
I think that newspapers make judgment calls all the time to limit what their reporters can say, so I don't necessarily think it's an infringement of free speech, at least not any more than we already see in regular newspapers.
There is so much spoken outrage that the Eagle is now hosting an event to discuss the controversy.
Hopefully, my personal hope is that we talk more about the issue rather than our decision, which from what I've been hearing from people, it seems like they're more talking about what the university is going to do from here. So that's more or less where it looks like it's going at this point.
Some are still focused on the column itself.
The argument just wasn't coherent to begin with, not to mention insulting. I think the issue is that it was an insulting article and it triggered rape victims. That's what I think is the real issue. I don't think free speech has much to do with it.
Still, one professor says it's all about the conversation.
What is resulting is a more coherent policy, a clearer, more clearly defined policy, and people have actually engaged with the subject of date rape and sexual harassment and those types of concerns to a much greater degree than they would have otherwise.
Reporting from American University, this is Michael Ono, District Wire News.
Graduating students at American University have a few extra days to order graduation regalia. The deadline for students and faculty has been pushed back to Monday, April 12th. Students can order by logging on to your my.american.edu account, click on academics, and then the link to commencement cap and gown order.
High school students are arriving at American University and formulating their future college decisions. Reporter Don Michael Mendoza tells us how they are affecting the daily routine at the school and how current students are reacting to the large number of visitors.
'Tis the season for college visits, and American University's campus is gearing up for prospective students who visit every April.
April is high volume month, so there are high volume days, so there's definitely an influx of students coming to see the schools. Mostly juniors, but towards the end of the month they warn us it's going to be mostly seniors who are looking at the school to decide. And definitely there's more people. We have high volume patrols, so we have to show up before tour times and help people who are going to the info sessions.
While a bigger number of prospective students means a larger pool for university admissions to choose the class of 2014 from, some current students say the way they take over the school is just not worth it.
Well, they're kind of distracting during class, especially if you have your class outside. I had one class outside in an amphitheater, and no one paid attention, and everyone just looked at us too. So, also they kind of blocked the pathway, so I was almost late for class one time, but it's alright.
Though some students have a more positive view on the matter.
Usually I don't mind when I see a lot of tour groups outside because, it's good for a lot of prospective students to really walk around and see what the campus is like. But it does get a little inconvenient because we are on a small campus, so when you do see like 10 groups of 60 or more people walking around and you're trying to make your way to class or whatever, it can slow you down.
Although ways to alleviate the struggle for space between students and what are known as prospies are being brainstormed, the admissions office says that it will accept a class the same size as the class of 2013. The benefit of more applicants means an increase in the average GPA and a lower acceptance rate overall. Don Michael Mendoza, District Wire News.
American University's all-male a cappella group, On a Sensual Note, is battling other groups across the country for an unorthodox reason. The group is competing in a nationwide contest for the title of Cheesiest A Cappella Group Name, hosted by NBC's comedy show Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Sensual Note is currently in second place behind University of Berkeley's Pitch Slapped.
American University's Council on Human Rights is hosting a panel discussion today on human rights treaties. The goal is to educate future policymakers and get some attention from lawmakers. Michelle Carlson has the story.
Instead of enjoying the beautiful weather outside, a small group gathered in Mary Graydon to talk about U.S. engagement on human rights treaties.
The focus is on getting students interested in human rights, and which is actually kind of easy to do because they're already interested.
Students attended hoping to learn more.
I know it's about the future of human rights treaties in America, but that's about it, so I'm looking forward to learning more.
Murders helped pick a diverse panel to make the discussion more interesting.
Well, you know, when you say treaty, then people want to take a nap or something because it sounds treaty, it sounds kind of boring, but what we're talking about is activists and advocates creating a strategy.
The panel consisted of 4 speakers representing the rights of women, the homeless, children, and people with disabilities. The panel's purpose was to help frame people's thinkings on the 4 different human rights treaty issues mentioned above. They say it's important to ratify additional treaties and to hold our government accountable domestically.
A lot of people see the U.S. as a moral leader of the world, and we want to bring to people's attention that the U.S. actually hasn't signed almost any of the international treaties or covenants on human rights developed by the UN or otherwise.
Panelist Eric Tars says the U.S. needs to stop having empty promises and do a better job of using our ratified treaties correctly. In Washington, I'm Michelle Carlson, District Wire News.
Aftershocks continue to rattle southwest Mexico today after a 7.2 magnitude earthquake hit Sunday. The death toll is now at 2. Cities lost power and hospitals and nursing homes were evacuated. Improved construction codes prevented more serious damage, but some homes were destroyed in farming communities. The earthquake was one of the strongest to hit Mexico in decades.
Rescuers are still searching for nearly 40 trapped miners in China after more than 100 miners were rescued today. The miners have been trapped for more than a week in a flooded coal mine in Shenyang. Some miners say they ate sawdust to stay alive and strapped themselves to the shaft's walls with their belts to avoid drowning while they slept.
Gas prices are at an 18-month high Monday. Oil has been trading between $75 and $85 a barrel for months. The new range looks like it could go up to $95. New economic reports show that the economy is improving and the demand for oil will probably rise. Some analysts now wonder whether high gas prices would hurt economic recovery.
Despite frustrations over Metro's fare increase, the transit agency set records in ridership over the weekend. Metro recorded its second highest ridership day, just a day after the previous record was set. The annual Cherry Blossom Festival and sporting events attracted more than 800,000 riders. The day of President Obama's inauguration currently holds the top spot for most riders with more than 1 million trips.
Apple users have been talking about the newest product for months. People have been wondering what the product would be like and if it would be worth the money. Caitlin Gart is live in the studio.
The countdown is over, and Apple fans worldwide are now finally able to get their hands on Apple's newest product, the iPad. Take a look. The new tablet, as it's being called, is a mix between a computer and Apple's iTouch. It is now on sale in all 221 U.S. Apple retail stores and most Best Buy stores. On day 1 of its release, Apple sold more than 300,000 iPads. Though there were many long lines and anxious customers on release day, not everyone was interested in the new technology.
I really was excited about the iPad, not so much the name, but the tablet itself, because I love my iPod Touch a lot. But when I saw some of the features, I kind of got frustrated because it doesn't have a lot of functionality. It's much more an entertainment device and something that's going to be useful for doing my own work and maybe doing typing and so forth.
While some say the iPad will replace laptops as we know them, others say it is just a bigger version of the iPod Touch or the iPhone and will wait out the hype.
So, I think, like I said, there are improvements to be made with the charging and camera and all that, so I'm sure there'll be later versions in the next couple years. I would definitely recommend waiting, if nothing else, than for the inevitable price drop that's going to come along in a couple of months.
Some people say they have been waiting for iPad's release since January, when Apple first launched the product. Fans of iPad say they are looking forward to the new features, the size of the tablet, and the new applications.
I actually plan on getting it tomorrow. I think the iPad's going to have a lot of applications that'll make my life easier and more convenient and efficient. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be probably my best purchase of the year.
Customers have said that the battery life, Wi-Fi connection, and not having a built-in webcam are the only real glitches with the iPad so far. For the first time, customers won't have to wait in long lines or travel to the Apple Store to buy their iPads. Apple is allowing their customers to order the iPad online and have it delivered directly to their home.
Coming up after the break, it's African American Family Celebration Day at one of the district's most popular spots. We'll take you to the National Zoo for a multicultural tradition.
And Big Bloom, thousands come out to see the cherry blossoms in peak bloom.